money that went into this, all of which was burned thanks to U.S. immigration fucking us. And no matter what happens with the lawsuit, they will not pay us back a penny at all. Now, the biggest thing that can happen from the lawsuit if we win is they that the U.S. government is not liable for any of these damages that they were directly responsible for us in regards to us. That's kind of crazy to me. So what possible incentive do workers at U.S. immigration have for even doing a job in the first place if no matter...
Hi, welcome to Spoiler Lab. Scientists discover a strange 3,500 meters is the Glossius research station. Climate change live there. Yannick wakes up to a loud noise after another massive hangover. Beertha, one of the scientists, persistently knocks on his door and asks for help. Reluctantly, the technician arrives at the main base and disables the alarm. It turns out that one of the weather stations, located a few hundred meters from the main base, is out of order. Without it, scientists can't track climatic error readings, and researcher Falk finished the last preparations to go up into the mountains and fix a malfunction at the station. Falk tries to find out more about the personality of the unfriendly technician. He his confinement in the mountains and says he knows the station and the terrain around him better than anyone else. The men and the dog climb in an unknown direction, barking. Yannick and the scientist by the unusual find and decides to take samples for further investigation. Yannick hears a muffled howl coming from the cave. He pays no attention to it and continues to repair the transformer box. And finds the source of the howling by smell. Among the rocks lies a badly wounded fox, breathing very heavily. The technician runs to his pet and finds a fresh wound on his stomach. The dog looks ahead, where the fox's twisted body lies. Disturbing no...
Did you know that most cars today have a cabin air filter that cleans the air you breathe? This is what a dirty filter looks like. In just months, it fills with dust, pollen, exhaust fumes, and moldy mildew. PureFlow's premium advanced cabin air filter blocks dust, pollen, and more, filtering up to 99% of airborne contaminants with a powerful activated charcoal system. Order yours today at pureflowair.com to receive free shipping. PureFlow. Breathe better air.
Disturbing noises are heard inside the cave and Yannick decides to pick up his pet and leave the cave rather than go to the source of the noise. Back at the main base, scientists examine samples of the unusual glacier under a microscope. They discover a living organism in it, whose cells are constantly dividing and multiplying. Beertha demands that Yannick take her to the glacier to take fresh samples and place them in an airtight container. The technician refuses to go up into the mountains at night, given that there is a rabid fox roaming the cave. The scientists are unhappy with Yannick's behavior and believe that he is just imagining things after drinking too much and that there is no danger in the cave. Nevertheless, they decide to postpone the trip to the glacier to the next day. In the morning, the Minister of Ecology Bodasek is supposed to come to the station with a committee, and the scientists propose to keep the unusual discovery a secret. Yannick does not agree, as he is obliged to alert the higher authorities about what has happened. The arriving minister is accompanied by reporters and Yannick's ex-girlfriend named Tanya. She works as a geologist and 3 years ago was part of a group of scientists working at the station in the Alps. Meanwhile, the scientists are trying to talk the technician out of telling guests about what they saw in the cave. This is just a PR campaign for the minister, and they all have to play their part in this political spectacle. Harold gives Yannick a dose of morphine so that he will fall asleep and not disturb them. At that moment, however, Tanya contacts him by radio and informs him of her arrival. This event immediately soothes the technician, and the scientists worry that he will reveal information about the rabid fox to his ex-girlfriend. Tanya informs Yannick that she is going with the minister and reporters to the mountains at dawn to take colorful pictures. The man is excited to meet his former lover and takes more morphine to pass out. Waking up in the middle of the night, Yannick hears someone digging in the garbage. Sensing something wrong, he calls up Harold on the radio and asks him to bring him a rifle, but his companion does not hear him. Suddenly, a hideous-looking monster emerges from hiding and terrifies the technician. The scientists rush out to the sound and Yannick tells them to hurry and hide. He reports that he has seen some kind of hybrid fox with horns on its head. The scientists do not take the man's strange behavior seriously, believing that he is under the harmful effects of morphine and alcohol. Yannick is sure that he is right and wants to report everything to the authorities immediately. A small fight breaks out between the scientists and the technician. Having calmed down, Harold tries to persuade Yannick to go to bed and postpone the capture of the mythical fox to the next day. Lived nearby. When he died, the badly wounded teenie was lying next to his body. Tanya and the technician took the dog in, after which they nurtured and fattened him up. All night long, Yannick has nightmares about the monster. In the morning, he calls Tanya by radio and warns her of the danger that awaits them along their route. The girl does not believe her ex-boyfriend's delusions and tells the crew to get ready for ascent. Yannick decides to accompany Britta to the Red Glacier. Once there, however, they discover that the red bacterial growth has disappeared somewhere. The scientist decides to drill into the block to collect materials, and Yannick steps aside to go to the bathroom. Suddenly, one of the rocks starts to move due to the moisture. The stone turns out to be a mutant beetle, which attacks whoever disturbed it. A dazed Yannick kicks the beetle and it bounces aside, hiding in its shell again. Meanwhile, the minister and the group are walking the trail to the station. Tanya enthusiastically tells reporters about climate change research. The group stops on a scenic slope to take some pictures. During the photo shoot, the photographer is bitten by a giant mosquito whose belly is filled with the harmful bacteria. Back at the base, the scientists dissect the mutant bug. The creature moves sharply, causing a commotion among those present, but Birka calls it a vegetative reaction. After taking the biomaterials for analysis, the scientists conclude that it contains the same microorganisms as the Red Glacier. Birka concludes that the monster found is some sort of hybrid of flea and fox. This bacterium can recombine and mix the DNA of different organisms, thereby creating a variety of infected animal hybrids. When the Red Glacier, Britta suggests that such an animal would spawn something like a werewolf, a human with the head of eyes, which adds to his indecision. Tanya decides to take her former lover's advice and suggests that the group change the route. The minister agrees to take a shorter route. Far from the minister's group, a frightened girl is being chased by a mutant eagle. The tourist is about to head out to meet Tanya and the others, which causes a new wave of discontent among the scientists. They do not want the technician to tell the minister about the new bacterial menace, as the news could cause panic and unnecessary publicity. Scientists believe that they are on the verge of time so they can do all the necessary research. Warily, realizing that the hybrids are getting closer and closer to the station, the bitten photographer begins to develop a severe fever and the group decides to pause. The bite on his neck swells and pulsates. Tanya wants to get the group to the station as quickly as possible, therefore she tells them to keep moving. Suddenly the injured hiker, who miraculously the ground and cannot utter a word due to panic attacks. Now the raptor, but the bird disappears behind the high slopes. But the lull proved to be temporary, and a few seconds later the mutant attacks the guard. Although the man manages to fight off the bird, it mortally wounds him. A real panic ensues among the delegation. Minister Bodisek, in tears, crawls up to the dead security guard, with whom she was close. The photographer, who has been bitten, flees to the mountains. Yannick rushes to their aid and escorts the remaining group to the station. At this time, Harold rehearses a meeting with high-ranking guests, but he fails to put his charms into practice. The terrified delegation bursts into the station and immediately barricades themselves inside. They place the wounded tourist on a table and treat her wounds with improvised means. Not everyone makes it to the station. Irene, one of the reporters, notices that her partner is lost and panics. The minister stiffly brings her to her senses and reassures her that the man will be back soon. Tanya asks Yannick to call someone for help, but the only satellite phone has been taken by two scientists who have gone to the weather station. Harold whispers to the technician that Falk and Britta do not plan to return until the morning when the minister's delegation leaves. Seeing the unfortunate consequences of his actions, the scientist tries to awkwardly justify himself. Yannick does not find his apology convincing and slaps the man for putting their lives in mortal danger. The minister offers to call for help using her phone, but at this altitude, mobile communication does not work. The woman woman remembers that her dead security guard had another satellite phone and takes her anger out on the sobbing reporter. Yannick hears his pet barking and is terrified of the danger that is just around the corner. He bursts out into the street and cautiously walks toward his cabin, expecting to see the worst. An enraged Tanya interrogates Harold about the discovery the scientists withheld from them. Falk and Britta make it to the weather station, but discover that they forgot the key to it at the main base. The scientists blame each other for what happened for a while, after which Falk picks the lock. They go inside and Britta, in anticipation, opens the container with the mutant bug they took with them for research. However, the hybrid has only been pretending to be dead all along and immediately lunges at the scientist's face as soon as she opens the container. The woman runs out into the street in a panic, trying to unhook the mutant from herself. Her partner tries to help her, but comes up with nothing better to do than hit her several times over the head with a rock. The mutant bug does peel away from the woman, but after the blows, her face is now completely squashed. Yannick goes to his suffering pet and tries to calm him down.
One leaky valve ignited a chain reaction that unleashed an inferno at the Phillips chemical plant. This disaster would shed light on the dangers of lax safety regulations. It's October 23rd, 1989. Workers perform routine maintenance on Reactor 6 at the gigantic Houston Chemical Complex. It's not a complicated procedure, but it still calls for caution. The high-pressure reactor is filled with a cocktail of highly flammable material. There's no room for mistakes. Step by step, workers follow the maintenance procedure. Suddenly, a deafening hiss pierces the air as the reactor violently releases its entire content into the factory yard, engulfing everything in a cloud of combustible vapors. The workers know it takes only a tiny spark to blow everything up, so they start to run. 2 minutes later, a seismic center in Houston registers a mighty shake. Above the Pasadena compound, a large black plume of smoke rises in the air. It's a full-scale disaster caused by one wrong move.
Westlake Pipe and Fittings service all levels of contractors. PBCO.
The chemical complex was located in the busy industrial area along the Buffalo Bayou. It was owned by the Phillips Petroleum Company and had several plants on site. All these, including Plant 5 where the accident occurred, were high-tech facilities with strict operating procedures and tight safety measures. At least, that's what the papers said. In contrast, reports suggested that the company was known for hiring subcontractors and less trained workers compared to their own employees. These workers made around 65% of what Phillips employees earned and didn't receive benefits like medical insurance or pensions. But it came heated to 230 degrees Fahrenheit. These materials react with each other at a pressure of 600 psi and create HDPE particles. These pipes move the HDPE to a tank for further processing. During the process, particles would gradually clog the settling legs, which had to be cleared manually. This was done without stopping the process inside the reactor. A specially designed valve was used to separate the pipes from the reactor. 21st, 2 days before the disaster. Red closed, they disconnected 2 air hoses that controlled the valve. Finally, they physically locked it in the closed position to make sure no reactor content flowed through the leggings during the cleaning. The next step was to open a second valve on the bottom of the legging and remove the plastic float. But the procedure was left to be finished the next week due to other work priorities. One could question whether the disaster could have been averted with a different task prioritization. It took a detailed investigation to discover what happened next on Monday, October 23rd. 99% of the reactor's content, about 85,000 pounds, was released into the atmosphere in a second. A dangerous cloud of highly flammable gas spread across the site. A warning signal sounded, and workers throughout the plant rushed to evacuate. Unfortunately, there was too little time. Within 2 minutes, the cloud reached an ignition source and exploded with a mighty force. The explosion shook the entire industrial park and showered it with large chunks of metal.
Metal was flying in there and it's blowing up.
Could you feel the impact?
So it knocked me about 30 feet.
And you just got up and started running?
I started running. I jumped the fence and ran over the hatch there and kept on running.
The explosion at the Phillips plant was as powerful as 2.4 tons of TNT and registered 3.5 on the Richter scale. The initial blast set most of the plant on fire. Within 10 to 15 minutes, the flames reached two 20,000-gallon isobutane storage tanks and caused another massive explosion. To make things even worse, another polyethylene reactor failed catastrophically 25 to 45 minutes after the first. As chaos ensued, there may have been up to 3 more blasts. The first to respond were members of the Phillips Company Fire Brigade, who were soon joined by the firefighters of the General Industries Mutual Aid Association. Immediately upon arrival, the men realized they had a challenging task ahead of them. Not only was the blaze raging beyond control, but the explosion also destroyed a large part of the firefighting water system. Firefighters had to use alternative sources like a cooling tower, a water main from a neighboring plant, settling ponds, and even the ship channel. Despite these efforts, the severe flames and massive fuel load were challenging for the responders. Finally, after a 10-hour struggle, a combined force of fire engines, Phillips phone trucks, and brigades from nearby plants and local departments subdued the fire. During this time, search and rescue operations were largely impractical. Only the following morning, Phillips employees entered the plant to determine if it was safe for the search and rescue teams to enter. Even though the blaze was contained, there was still a danger of further explosions and structural collapses. Among the first to enter the site were the Occupational Safety and Health Administration officers to collect and preserve evidence. Their investigation not only revealed a significant number of flaws within the plant, but also indicated that the plant's officials had prior knowledge of these issues. After a thorough examination, a potential sequence of events emerged. During the ongoing maintenance, the physical lockout device was taken off the top valve of settling leg number 4. When workers reattached the air hoses which regulate the valve, they unintentionally opened it, causing the reactor's contents to spill through the settling leg. The investigation revealed a significant flaw in the system design. The top valve's air supply and discharge hoses were identical. This similarly made it possible for a mix-up, allowing workers to connect them in reverse. While the indicator may have shown closed, the valve could have been actually open. The explosion and subsequent fire killed 22 plant workers, while another employee died later in the hospital. All of the victims were found within 250 feet of Reactor 6, where the gas leaked. A report to the president noted an additional 130 people were injured in the accident. 35 workers were hospitalized, of which 5 of them had life-threatening injuries. Over 100 personnel were unharmed after being cut off by the fire. They were rescued by the U.S. who could be connected have accidentally or deliberately opened the valves. In addition, Phillips was accused of inadequate separation between the buildings in the plant, which contributed to a large number of injured and killed workers who simply did not have enough room to perform an effective evacuation. U.S. Secretary of Labor Elizabeth Dole explained, "This tragedy is magnified by clear evidence that this explosion was avoidable had recognized safety procedures been followed." OSHA has uncovered internal Phillips documents that called for corrective action but were largely ignored. Less skilled subcontractors to perform dangerous operations, and it came with deadly consequences. 2 months before the into an adjacent area where they ignited and burned 4 workers while killing 2. similar proposing a total penalty of about $5.7 million. In response to the report, Phillips Petroleum Company agreed to pay a $4 million fine and to institute OSHA's proposed process safety management procedures at the company's facilities nationwide. As part of the deal, OSHA agreed to delete the willful characterization of the citations. OSHA's proposed safety management standards were published in the Code of Federal Regulations in 1992. The petrochemical industry's safe process design and operating practice. Yet, in 1999, the plant was the site of another explosion and fire that took the lives of 2 contractors who were burned to death by 500-degree Fahrenheit molten plastic. Watch this episode next. If you found this video interesting, please add a like and leave a comment if you want to support the channel. When the 3rd fire alarm rings out at a reactor testing station on a freezing January night, firefighters race to holds in front of them. Inside Fire Station Number 1 at the Army's National Reactor Testing Station, where nuclear research is conducted. The sound sends the 6 firefighters to put their jackets on, board the truck, and head toward the site. It's January 3rd, 1961, and the night is freezing. On arrival, the first place they check is the furnace room. To their surprise, the alarm in the room is silent. It is coming from somewhere else. They better check. All of a sudden, the firefighters realize what is going on. The alarm is coming from the central building, where the nuclear reactor. All 3-stage cylindrical building. Radiation detector goes wild as the firefighters climb the stairs. The radio shows a maximum of 200 roentgens per hour as the beeping sound turns into a steady buzzing. Believing that the detector might be wrong, Assistant Chief Ken Dearden sends one of the firefighters to bring another detector from the truck. Unfortunately, there's nothing wrong with it. The other one also shows the highest radiation level. On the operating platform level, the firefighters peer through a window in the door to figure out what has happened. The air inside is clear, and the reactor seems to be in its place. But next to it lies the bodies of 2 crewmen, Army Specialists Richard Leroy McKinley and John A. Burns, soaking wet and covered with blood. Around them are scattered rocks and metal debris. The situation calls for an all-out alarm. Within only 17 minutes, a health physicist accompanied by Assistant Chief Moschberger entered the facility with a higher-scale ion chamber detector. As they approached the operating platform, the detector showed a radiation level of 500 roentgens per hour, above the lethal dose for prolonged exposure. At 10:30 p.m., Chief Health Physicist Ed Valerio and the Reactor Operations Supervisor Paul Duckworth arrived from nearby Idaho Falls. Joined by the 3 other health physicists, they put on Scott air packs and rushed inside the reactor building. Inside, one of the crew members, Richard Leroy McKinley, was moaning and still showing signs of life, even though he was covered in blood and in pretty bad shape. Valerio and Duckworth decided to remove him from the building as quickly as possible to get him medical care. With the emergency exit blocked, the 2 carried McKinley all the way up through the main building. Unfortunately, during the extraction, Valerio and Duckworth's air mask stopped working, forcing Valerio to take off his mask and breathe contaminated air. The entire rescue operation lasted just 3 minutes. Sadly, McKinley never managed to reach the hospital. He died of his wounds in the ambulance. His other colleague, John A. Burns, died on the platform. First class Richard C. Legg. No one could find him, dead or alive. Was his disappearance related to what happened at the reactor? The firefighters and health physicists on the scene quickly established that an exploded reactor had caused the death of the crewmen. Meanwhile, they learned that the explosion had nothing to do with the fact that Richard Legg was missing. In fact, he wasn't missing at all. Legg had also died in the accident, but no one could find his body since a piece of the reactor impaled him to the ceiling of the building. His body hung from above, unnoticed. However, what puzzled the experts was what caused such a powerful explosion. Contrary
eBay Authenticity Guarantee is checked by experts for that feeling of real.
Contrary to popular belief, nuclear reactors are not dangerous contraptions. They can't explode on their own. There is a strict procedure prescribed for their operation, and an accident can only happen if one doesn't follow it. So, what went wrong with the reactor at the Idaho National Reactor Testing Station? The nuclear reactor in question was experimental, known as Stationary Low Power Reactor Number 1, or simply SL1. It was designed as a mid-scale reactor with an output of 3 megawatts of thermal energy. SL1 was part of the United States Army program to equip the radar stations in remote regions of the Arctic to supply them with electricity and space heating. The contract to design, build, and test the reactor prototype was given to the Argonne National Laboratory, which specialized in non-weapon-related nuclear physics. The prototype was constructed at the National Reactor Testing Station in Idaho and became operational on October 24th, 1958. It used 93.20% highly enriched uranium fuel for its 3-megawatt boiling water reactor. It operated with natural circulation, using light water as a coolant and a moderator. Following extensive testing, the plant was turned over to the Army to train its personnel. The reactor and most operating equipment were housed in a large, cylindrical silo-like building made of quarter-inch steel plates. Unlike reactors positioned near urban areas, SL1 had no pressure-tight containment shell. Nevertheless, the building was able to contain most of the radioactive particles released by the eventual explosion. SL1 was designed to function and last for decades, even in harsh conditions like the Arctic Circle. Still, it exploded and took the lives of 3 young servicemen. The cause for the disaster lay inside the reactor. Each nuclear reactor consists of fuel and control rods inside a sealed steel vessel filled with water. It uses a chain reaction of nuclear fissions to produce heat. Once the reaction becomes self-sustaining, the reactor reaches the so-called critical state. In the process, controlling the nuclear chain reaction is vital. That's what the control rods are used for. They limit the nuclear fission inside the reactor. If the control rods are fully inserted in the reactor, they stop fission. However, if they are entirely extracted, the nuclear chain reaction will go out of control and cause a reactor meltdown. The SL1 nuclear reactor had a capacity of 59 fuel assemblies and 9 control rods. However, it operated with only 40 fuel elements and 1 control rod. Experts estimated that such an arrangement would produce more energy in the central area of the reactor. SL1's fuel element rods consisted of 52 mils of uranium-aluminum alloy meat covered by aluminum cladding. In total, the reactor contained 31 pounds of uranium-235, a uranium isotope used to build the Little Boy atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. The cruciform control rod was made of 60 mils thick cadmium clad with aluminum. Being the only active control rod in the reactor, it was essential for the reactor operation. That turned out to be the core of the problem and the leading cause of the accident. Since all 3 crewmen involved in the accident were dead, it was difficult to reconstruct the events that took place in the reactor building that day. The initial investigation determined that the reactor vessel was detached but still in its bed. However, 4 shield plugs designed to hold control rods were ejected, and the inspection of the control rod showed it was extracted from its bed. That gave the investigators an idea of what caused the accident. It was the result of one wrong move. On the night, 3 crewmen underwent a routine maintenance procedure of reconnecting the control rod. Due to the Christmas holidays, the reactor was shut down for 11 days, and the operators were going to put it back into operation. The procedure required the control rod to be manually withdrawn from the reactor, connected to its drive mechanism, and lowered back into the reactor. It was a step-by-step process in which the crew members strictly followed the operating manual instructions. First, one of the crew members, probably John Burns, extracted the control rod 3 inches from the reactor. Next, the other crewman, presumably Richard Legg, put the C-clamp on the rod to hold it in place while the drive mechanism was attached. After completing the reconnection, Burns was supposed to manually lift the rod for another 2 inches for Legg to take off the C-clamp and lower it into the reactor. However, instead of lifting the rod 2 inches, Burns lifted it 20 inches. A seemingly minor detail, but in the case of a nuclear reactor, it was the one that caused a terrible accident. As is familiar, the control rod's role in the reactor is to limit the number of nuclear fissions in order to not cause an uncontrolled chain reaction. Unfortunately, it was precisely what happened with the control rod being extracted too far. The nuclear reaction could not be contained, creating way more fissions than the reactor could withstand. This is what nuclear scientists call prompt criticality. In just 4 milliseconds, the reactor designed to produce 3 megawatts of energy produced a power output of 20 megawatts. The power excursion was so big that the fuel assemblies melted down. The fuel vaporized and produced extreme pressure inside the reactor vessel, pushing the water upward. The water hit the vessel's roof with a pressure of 10,000 pounds per square inch, sending the entire vessel up 9 feet in 1/3 of a second. The water broke through the shield plugs, launching them into the air at 57 miles per hour and pinning Legg to the ceiling. Contaminated water and steam broke out of the vessel and sprayed the whole operating platform, killing Burns and Legg. McKinley, who was standing aside, was severely wounded. He died on his way to the hospital. The theory was backed up by traces of neutron-activated elements on the crewman's clothes and belongings. Also, an experiment with dummy control rods proved feasible for one man to extract the control rod 20 inches in a single pull. But the crewmen were familiar with the reactor and the dangers of extracting the control rod too far. So why would they do it? The answer lies in a misfunction of the control rod. Official reports mention that the center control rod performed more reliably than the other rods. However, there is no mention that it still got stuck 7 times in the month leading up to the accident. What's more, the frequency of control rod problems increased over time. But the operating contractor, Combustion Engineering Incorporated, did nothing about it. The SL-1 project manager, W.B. Allred, later defended himself during the congressional hearings about the accident, saying that he was unaware of the sharp increase in rod jamming. According to him, if he knew, he would have shut the plant down for more detailed examination. And so, the reason for the disaster on January 3rd, 1961 became clear. When Burns tried to lift the control rod 2 inches, it got stuck. In order to release the jammed rod, he used excessive force and accidentally lifted it by 20 inches. The government downplayed the facts to avoid undermining public trust in the nuclear industry. The accident was portrayed only as a minor one that had no serious repercussions. The Atomic Energy Commission reported that no fission products were detected within the SL-1 perimeter fence other than 0.1 curies of strontium-90 and 0.5 cesium-137. In their report, the AEC not only left out many other radionuclides that were emitted, but also underestimated the amount of fission produced that night. Even with the lowballed Curie releases, the SL-1 accident was serious. When the vessel was examined afterwards, roughly 30% of the Corps' fuel inventory had evaporated. The SL-1 nuclear reactor accident resulted in 3 lives lost, a destroyed nuclear reactor facility, and an abandoned development program of the SL-1 reactor. In February 1963, the Army replaced it with the Mobile Low Power Reactor, ML-1. It was a valuable lesson, though. As a result, all the future reactors were designed by applying a one-stuck rod criterion to ensure that a single control rod removal would not result in excessive reactivity. As for the SL-1 nuclear reactor, it was completely dismantled. Teams of workers removed the bulk of the contaminated debris using powerful vacuum cleaners and overhead cranes. 26,000 pounds of radioactive debris, including the reactor vessel, were buried in the proximity of the reactor site. The depth of the 3 pits dug for the purpose ranged from 8 to 14 feet. The excavations were covered with at least 2 feet of clean backfill. In September 1962, shallow mounds of soil were added over the pits. In 2000, a riprap layer city near the eastern border of the Netherlands. Far from the eyes of authorities, working-class families are living in the tight-packed affordable housing. On a sunny Saturday afternoon in May 2000, the residents of Roombeek are gathered in the streets, wondering where the cloud of black smoke is coming from. They seem surprised to hear there's some sort of production facility right around the corner. Little do they know that living standards in the neighborhood had been so low that a fireworks factory was allowed to operate nearby. Out of sheer curiosity, the entire neighborhood goes out and clogs the street. Suddenly, Roombeek looks like a festival is going on. The smoke coming from the factory yard also catches the attention of local firefighters. The immediate response crew arrive at the scene in minutes, but are blocked from approaching the factory by hundreds of onlookers. The crowd is deaf to their pleas to clear the way, as everyone wants to be in the first lines to see the show. The police have to intervene and push the people away from the scene. As soon as the path is clear, the firefighters waste no time rushing straight into the smoking factory yard. Danny DeVries, a young cameraman from the neighborhood, is here to capture the event. Having both the street and the smoke rising from above the rooftops in his frame, he finds himself in an ideal position. A burst of fireworks into the sky, followed by an explosion, suddenly breaks the generally joyful atmosphere on the streets. Suddenly, everyone is awake and alert. Whatever is inside that factory is dangerous and might threaten their lives. Well, the sound of whistling fireworks crackles through the air and small rockets fly all over the place. The crowd flees from the scene. DeVries stands calmly and records it all. Then, out of the blue, a powerful explosion knocks him off his feet. His camera is still recording, but nothing can be seen except for a thick smoke of dust that falls in the neighborhood. The dust settles after a couple of minutes, and everyone recovers from the shock. Instantly, the streets of Roombeek turned into scenes akin to a disaster movie. The level of destruction caused by the explosion indicates the factory was not an ordinary one. The center of the explosion is the SE Fireworks Factory, one of the leading fireworks suppliers to major festivities in the Netherlands. The Roombeek compound was established in 1976, when the area was already an urbanized zone. The original facility comprised of a workshop and 13 storage cells designed to accommodate 18 tons of fireworks. In 1996, factory owners increased the storage capacity to 105 tons, and 2 years later to 159 tons. At the time of the disaster, the SE Fireworks storage capacities comprised of 13 bunkers within the central compound that were built of reinforced concrete, 16 steel containers, 7 light concrete boxes, and 2 large hangars. Obviously, the factory accommodated quite a large amount of explosive material, which was not unusual considering the company's high turnover. The problem was that it was just a few yards away from a residential area. On May 13, 2000, at 3:03 p.m., the local fire station received a call for intervention in the Roombeek neighborhood. A fire had broken out in the fireworks factory, and neither neighbors reporting the fire nor the firefighters knew what kind of factory it was. When they arrived at the scene at 3:08 p.m., firefighters noted the ignition of pyrotechnic material that likely caused the fire. With those sorts of fires being hazardous, the fire brigade called for reinforcements. They knew it would be a tough job to keep the fire under control. Luckily, since it was a Saturday, there were no employees inside the factory. The firefighters located several ignition spots within the main workshop. The fire had quickly spread through and out of the central compound, reaching facades and the roof of nearby hangars. At 3:28 p.m., the fire reached steel containers, starting with the one designated E2. minutes after it was set ablaze, container E2 exploded, sending many of the fireworks into the air, which onlookers witnessed from outside. Meanwhile, the situation inside the factory facilities grew worse. The fire spread out of control, and firefighters were forced to abandon their positions and run for their lives. Inside the yard was also local photographer Marcel Van Nieuwenhoven, who was trying to get a close-up shot from the fire. From container E2, the fire spread to concrete boxes, which began to explode in sequence. The explosion created a 280-foot diameter fireball and a pressure wave equivalent to the explosion of 1,700 pounds of TNT. The blast destroyed the doors on the other storage units, which were then caught by the raging fire, followed by a massive explosion of the entire lot. The epicenter was cell C11 within the central compound. The force of the blast was evaluated to be equivalent to the explosion of 4 to 5 tons of TNT. It created a huge fireball 440 feet in diameter. The blast was heard within a 9-mile radius. The explosion at the SE Fireworks went on to destroy the entire area around the factory, 100 acres in total. 400 houses were utterly demolished, with another 1,500 damaged. 15 streets were burned to ashes. Firefighters from nearby towns, as well as from across the German border, arrived at Enschede to help. Responders battled the blaze throughout the neighborhood the entire day. The fire also consumed the facilities of the nearby Grolsch brewery with an asbestos roof, releasing the harmful compounds into the air. Throughout the weekend, populated scenes, rescue teams searched the area for survivors. 23 people were found dead. Among them were 4 of the first firefighters to arrive at the scene. Marcel Van Nieuwenhoven, the daredevil photographer, was also killed in the explosion. At the Medici Spectrum 20, the Enschede hospital, 974 people were treated for injuries. 50 of them were in a serious condition and were kept for further treatment. The disaster had a devastating influence on the state of health of both victims and survivors, especially those that lost their homes. Many of them suffered from insomnia, anxiety, difficulty coping with day-to-day life, and a lack of self-confidence for a long time after the disaster. The material damage was enormous. An entire neighborhood was wiped out. The remaining houses were evacuated and demolished, leaving more than 1,500 residents homeless. The damage was estimated to be $486 million. Dutch Prime Minister Wim Kok and Queen Beatrix
What's
of
up,
the
Blue?
Netherlands visited the scene,
How you doing,
promising that
dude?
the entire nation would back up rebuilding the destroyed neighborhood. By all accounts, the Enschede fireworks explosion
Yo,
was
what's up, Joseph?
the tragedy in the town's history, only comparable to the Allied bombing in
What's up?
1943. It caught the whole country's attention, curious to know how it happened.
How you
As a
guys doing,
result,
man?
a board of inquiry called the Oosting Commission was set up to investigate the circumstances that led to the disaster. The inquiry was based on 3 hypotheses. The fire was caused by human error while handling fireworks. It was caused by self-combustion of explosive material in the workshop. Or the fire was set up by a pyromaniac, as there were recent arson cases in the area.
Lance
6 days
Davis,
after
add
the
me
tragedy,
to
the
what?
authorities issued an arrest warrant for the company's 2 owners, Rudy Bakker and Willie Pater. Since the factory had a multitude of safety issues, the 2 were marked as prime suspects. When the police arrived to execute the warrants, both were gone. However, that same day, Pater turned himself in to the
Add you
police,
to what, dude?
followed by Bakker the day after. Inspectors in charge of the investigation questioned them over the number of irregularities in the way fireworks were stored at the facility. At the epicenter of the explosion, the central compound workshop, there were almost
Guys, I got an
2,000
important question
pounds of
for you guys.
fireworks, despite it being an off day at the factory. According to regulations, if they were not being
If you had a
operated,
daughter and
they
she
weren't
would
allowed to be
marry
in the
a man,
workshop,
and
but
if
should
that man
instead be
killed her,
stored in
would you
storage
forgive her?
facilities. Additionally, as problematic was that the factory
Probably
housed
not, dude.
more explosive
Fuck
material
that.
than allowed, and that there were types of fireworks inside the factory that they had no authorization to store. In general,
Hello, Big
fireworks
Nose.
are
Fuck
classified
you,
into
dude.
4 hazardous categories according
So the
to
question is,
International
would you have
Compact.
sex with a
These
fat
are
girl?
hazard type 4
Press yes.
fireworks, they
or
present a
no?
low fire risk. Type 3 fireworks have a fire hazard and
It's
minor
an
blast
important
and
question.
projectile threats.
I have to
While
study
Mode
for
2G
college.
fireworks present
It's a
a
college
serious
question.
projectile hazard but does not have a mass explosive risk. And finally, the most dangerous category, Type 1,
Ask Jane can
comes with
blow
a
his
very
nose and
high
wipe the ass
hazard
at
with
the
the
same time.
potential
Fuck
of a
you, dude.
mass explosion.
That's a
The SE
pretty
fireworks were
shallow
authorized to
question
store
for a man
126
of your
tons of Type
stature.
4 and 2 tons of Type 3 fireworks. Instead,
You're
inside the storage
Squidward's
containers and
brother.
boxes, there were only 16 tons of Type 4 fireworks and 153 tons of Type 3 fireworks, 5 tons of Type 2, and
I've kicked
1.6
you out
tons
your
of Type
mom's
1.
cunt.
That was more than 160 tons of unauthorized hazardous material stored near the residential area. Furthermore, there was a
That's
series of
weird.
issues
What is
regarding the
weird? Do you guys
safety of the
play
storage
Switch?
capacities. The most obvious was the
Anybody
inappropriate
have a
layout of
Nintendo Switch?
containers and concrete boxes in the factory yard. They were packed tightly with no
Fat
separation
chubby
distance
think
between
that's your definition of
installed earth
fat?
walls or any other form
I
of
like to
partitioning
kick your
prescribed
mom's
by
cunt.
regulations. 2 containers were not even supposed to be there and were not authorized. None of the storage facilities went through any
Better
kind of
question, would
testing
any
and had no
woman in
appropriate
chat have
detection and
sex with
fire
this
extinguisher
melted
devices.
human?
In addition, the aerial
You
photos of
guys
the
are fucked
compound
up,
taken a
man.
few days before the
You got
explosion
food
show
over
the
your
container
chin.
doors were left open.
You need a
If that was
shower,
the case on
Habibi.
the day of the disaster, it surely enhanced the spread of the fire from
Girl,
one
that
container to
reminds me of
another
the
and
family
resulted
who was
without a
outside
mass
Jello, the
explosion.
mother with 10. I don't know what
Ironically,
you're
just a
fucking
week
talking
before
about.
the blast, the factory had been inspected
Liking
and
out your
determined to
mom's
have
cunt?
met
What
all
girl?
official safety
Bro, you look
regulations.
like big
The safety
friendly giant.
irregularities still didn't explain how it came
Guys,
to the
hit the like
explosion.
button so I can have
Human
more
error
viewers.
was the less likely cause, since there were no workers inside the factory on that day. Self-combustion of the explosive material left in the
Tasty,
workshop
man.
was also a less plausible scenario. Even though it was a warm and sunny day, the temperature inside the workshop was far from enough to cause self-ignition. If it happened, an electrical short circuit from some devices could have been more likely. One of the arrested owners,
When was
Louis
the last
Barker,
time you
tried
took
to
a
defend his
shower? Like
case by
4 days
claiming
ago,
it
dude.
was arson.
Hit that
According to
chin with
his
a wipey.
claims, the previous owner of SE Fireworks, Harm Smullenbrook,
You guys
had
are
the
so
financial
fucked up,
motives to
man.
organize it. Smullenbrook
This
had
is what
sold the
you see
company
when
to
you have a
Barker
fever
later
dream.
on April 27, 1998, but had remained the owner of the land and buildings, which he rented to new owners under the articles of the buyout contract. Barker claims
I use the
Smullenbrook had
ranches,
plans to
Luke.
sell the land to the municipality,
Can
but had to
answer
get
that,
rid of
brother.
its
No,
tenants
don't
somehow.
wanna.
The arson seemed like a
Don't
good
wanna unblow
choice.
you.
Indeed, the police arrested 34-year-old
Yeah,
Andre
it's dangerous,
DeVries,
guys.
accusing him of setting
Never
off a
know.
fire in SE Fireworks on May 13, 2000, with no connections to Smullenbrook whatsoever. Even though DeVries persistently claimed his innocence, in May 2002, the court sentenced him to 15
She was
years
less
in prison.
cute in the
The
face and
verdict was
didn't
based
stink.
on witnesses' testimonies, traces of powder burns
No,
on
I
his
have a
hands,
girlfriend.
and his statements. As it later turned out, DeVries was right about his innocence. In 2003, the appeals court
Sometimes
granted
when you're
caution
desperate, you have
and
to get
released him
with a
from prison.
fat girl, you know,
The
just to
final report of the
release.
Dispute Commission was
You know
released
what
on
I mean? I
February
bet all
28,
of you guys been
2001.
there.
The
When you're really
conclusion was that the
desperate,
factory
it's been
owners
like
were
fucking way too
committing a
long. You
number of
haven't
serious
gotten laid.
offenses in terms of pyrotechnic
You don't have many
materials
options.
management,
You
equipment
go,
from
you know,
various structures, and
you
the
gotta
use
find
and
that big
location of
queen.
inadequate structures. As far as the responsibilities of the local and
And then
national
sometimes
authorities
you
were
fall in
concerned,
love with the
the
big
commission
queen and
moved
you
forward
just
with
like
serious
date her like
improvements to
crazy.
the
You know what I
system.
mean?
On April 2nd, 2002, a Dutch court sentenced the owners of the SE Fireworks to 6 months for importing and selling illegal
I know you
fireworks,
guys been there
breaking
too,
safety
right?
codes, and violating storage licenses. They were also fined $2,540 each for violating safety
Bro is down
regulations.
now.
However, since they had
I
already
hope I'm
spent 3
dying.
months in remand and had their sentences suspended for 3 months, they were walked out as free men. A more
Are
serious
you good,
charge
man?
of
Yeah, I'm a
negligence for the
really
fire
good
was
man.
abandoned. Years after the disaster and the trial, a famous whistleblower, Paul Van Bouken,
Slay what you
conducted an
wanna slay.
investigation of his own. He initially claimed inspectors did a poor job leading the investigation, but
Bro, I
then
need mods.
suggested
Who
the whole
wants to be
thing
mod?
was a huge government-led cover-up. As stated in his
Who wants
reports,
to be mod?
detectives claimed
If
there
you
were
want to be
problems
mod,
with
you
the
have to
official
say something
investigation.
nice about me.
These claims were rejected.
Slay so sister, my sister's mister.
However, an internal police investigation shows the detectives were right, but the report about this investigation was never published. Van Boutenen further reported that the
Any
official
hole is a
information
goal.
regarding the unauthorized powerful
That's fucked up,
fireworks in the
dude.
storage was based only on a reconstruction of the disaster by the Dutch
Do you
Forensic
write poetry?
Institute,
Yeah, I do,
FI,
man.
and TNO, not on actual evidence. He concluded that both the investigation and the report of the
Hit the
Enschede
like
Commission
button,
were
guys.
made
Come on, hit the
concealing the
like button.
authorities' responsibility. Nevertheless, the government and the local authorities did their best to respond to the disaster and rebuild the Roombeek. The government
Everybody hit the
offered
like button.
substantial financial backing for rebuilding the neighborhood, while the Enschede authorities organized the execution of the rebuilding plan. Aware of their responsibility for the disaster, the local council had no direct
I'm leaving. Bye.
participation
See
in
you,
the
Kara.
decision-making process
Hit the
and
like
gave
button.
over the job to residents of Roombeek. Those who suffered the most
You're not
were
gonna
able
hit
to
the like
decide
button?
what the
Alright, whatever,
neighborhood
man.
would look like.
I did like.
Local authorities
I only have 2
were
likes.
to catalog their opinion. In the end, the hopes and wishes of the public were turned into reality.
Can I show you guys a magic trick? Press 1 if you want to see a magic trick.
And rebuilt into the same warm neighborhood it once was. At the location of the former fireworks factory, the epicenter
Hello
of the
from
disaster,
India. Hello, India.
part of the original
How you
factory
doing?
cement foundation that was destroyed by the explosion was left in place to be overtaken by nature. Although they say time heals all wounds, it
I
will
think
take a
bro's
long
muted.
time to heal the traumas of the people who survived one of the most
You can't hear
devastating
me?
accidents
No,
in
you can hear me.
history
1.
of the Netherlands.
There you go. Alright, I'll show you a magic trick.
If you found this video
Watch,
interesting,
guys. Watch.
please
This is
have a like
magic.
and leave a comment if you want to support the channel. It's October 17th, 1989, and Ruth Ann Leo Johnson has finished work. She's driving home from her office in San Francisco. Ruth crosses the Bay Bridge and takes the speedometer suddenly catches her eye. She's going incredibly fast, and she has to slow down right away. So she applies the brakes, but nothing happens. Then it clicks. She's not speeding on the freeway, but airborne in the sky. Gravity soon takes hold as her car nosedives onto the freeway's lower deck. This was the day the Cypress Street Viaduct collapsed.
Did you like my magic trick? I ate the camera and I got it out of my stomach.
Upper deck to fall onto its lower deck. Although Leo Johnston lived to tell the tale, sadly,
Hit the like button if you like that.
on that fateful day. This is the story of the Cypress Street Viaduct. In 1949, the state of California designed the Nimitz Freeway, which would better connect the San Francisco Bay Area. America had just
Epstein
won
vibes.
World War II, and this freeway
What was that? That was my magic trick.
Chester Nimitz, who had retired.
I ate the phone.
The post-war economic boom meant that Americans had a bit more money and were increasingly selecting the private car
This guy's
as
a
the transport method of
bro
choice.
is high as fuck.
California has
Ain't
long
no
been
way.
notorious for its traffic congestion
Guys,
and the lack of
if you
public
want to be my
transport.
Switch friend, I'm gonna show you my account, alright? Because I play a lot of Mario Kart and I'm pretty good, and Smash Brothers. So check it out. Here's my Switch friend code. If you want to take a screenshot if you're watching on your phone or whatever. And then later on add me, but don't troll me, man. I swear I have one Animal Crossing island. More cushion for the pushing. Hello, here we go. I'm probably gonna regret this, but fuck it. There you go. So if you want to add me and play, we can play Mario Kart and all that shit.
On Cypress Street,
I dated a chick that she was so fat she
into San Francisco.
beat when she backed up.
Would greatly appreciate the viaduct to San
Yeah,
Francisco.
yeah. Some girls, they become so fat they legally have to wear a beeper. So every time they go backwards, they have to press the beeper button.
Oakland down to San Jose. This 2.5-kilometer stretch of motorway linking the Nimitz Freeway with Interstate 80 was a transcontinental
There you go. I
highway
moved
that
the
stretched
question
from
over.
California to New Jersey. This connector became known as the Cypress Street Viaduct. It was 2 tiers high with 5 lanes per deck. The upper deck was for southbound traffic, while the lower deck was for northbound traffic. A few years after its proposal, construction began. In 1955, the off-ramp of the viaduct was built and cost approximately $1 million. In 1956, the main freeway
These
was built
lurking
by
kids with
contractors
candy. I
Grove,
love and
Wilson,
my
Shepherd,
girls
and
BBW.
Kluge at
Add
$8.3 million.
and Mario Kart. Yeah, I'm down to play Mario Kart, dude.
By the time of the
How my
earthquake.
BBQ girls.
Columns were put in place for every 50 feet of roadway.
Dude, simple
and
question.
steel
Would you have
girders
sex
were
with a
also
fat
placed
girl?
beneath the surface.
And I
The
think
lower level was
most
about
of you
25
would
feet
do
above
it
ground,
because
and the road
everybody's
surface of
been
the
there,
upper
you know?
deck was about 38
Everybody
feet
been
above ground.
really desperate.
It made history as
And
California's
everybody
first
just
double-deck
needed,
freeway
you know, that
and
one
opened up
fat
to
girl
traffic on
just
June
to
11,
release because you couldn't get
1957.
anything better.
The viaduct looked state-of-the-art for its time, but there were a few problems.
The candy's free, but you gotta pay in the
Were
rent.
placed on some sections to protect against lateral loads, but not implemented across the whole viaduct.
All this dude
So
can
large
get
areas
is fat
simply
girls.
had no resistance to lateral forces. However, the main problem with the Cypress
You hit
Street
anything with a
Viaduct was
pulse?
its location. A vast portion of the elevated highway was
Bro, it's
constructed in
I'm not
concrete
projecting.
mud
I know
with a
all of you
bedrock
guys
over
been there, man.
490 feet below the
I know you
surface.
guys been there.
In an area highly prone to
Sometimes,
earthquakes,
you know, you just get
this
really
was
desperate and
incredibly
you
dangerous.
don't
As
have
you may
options.
know,
And you
California
just,
is
you know,
located between the Pacific and
gotta
North American
let it out
tectonic
on
plates.
King Kong.
The border between these is the San Andreas Fault, and is
On
usually
Godzilla,
the
you
origin
know?
of earthquakes in the
Optimus
region.
Prime.
So when it comes to them hitting California, it's not a question of if, but when. Having said that, engineers knew less about the
I know
impacts
you
of
guys
quakes
been
on
there. Come on.
high-rise buildings back then.
Nah, bro,
They
we
used
ain't.
outdated methods.
We not
They
been
believed
there.
that a solid
Trust me.
flat surface would withstand
Come
the
on, you know.
force.
Okay,
Now
one day
it's
you're gonna
understood
be
that it
there, and then
needs
you're gonna
to
be
be
like, shit,
slightly
that guy
bendy
was right
so that
on
it
in
can
that
flex
fucking
with
live
the
stream.
earthquake and not snap.
One day you're gonna be there.
Additionally,
Trust
some
me.
of the
Every guy
columns
is
were
gonna be
somewhat
there one
smaller
day.
at the base, so the weight didn't
They're
push
gonna like be
directly
like,
down,
fuck,
but
what am I
instead
gonna do,
pushed
man?
out
I
at an
can't
angle.
just keep jerking
Although
off.
the freeway's location on mud was not ideal, one cannot simply
Chubby
pick and
is
choose where to
like,
build a motorway. Most people don't want to live beside a busy road, and they couldn't construct a highway that was too far outside the city either. The Cypress Freeway was situated
you're
in an
very
area that got the balance
inappropriate.
right. It didn't intrude
Why are
upon the
you
neighborhoods
talking
in
about
Oakland,
that? There
yet
are
still
little
was
kids
central enough
watching
to
here.
benefit people
I don't give
traveling
a
to and
fuck. It
from
is
it.
an adult stream,
There
bro.
were warning
Don't be a
signs in
little kid. What am I
1971 when an
supposed to do?
earthquake hit the San
Don't be a
Fernando
fucking kid. I
Valley
don't want
in
any
upper
kids watching
LA.
me. If you
It
have a
resulted in 65
group of
deaths
fatties,
and
is
more
a
than
great time.
2,000 people injured, and served as a real wake-up call.
I don't know, man. I don't
Suddenly,
know if
it
my
was
bed
brought
could
home that
handle a
earthquakes
group of
can and
fatties.
will hit the
Once
Bay
I was
Area,
driving
and they
Uber,
needed to be prepared for it.
way back then,
Following the deadly
I was driving
1971
Uber,
San Fernando
and I
earthquake,
literally
the state of
got one
California
Uber,
began
and
a
it was
two-phase
3
program to
fat
ensure
girls,
roads
dude.
could withstand future
3
natural
fucking
disasters.
fat girls.
Phase 1 involved strengthening
One by
roads with
one,
air
they
columns.
sat in my car. My car
1977,
lowered,
the
dude.
state retrofitted the viaduct
The
with
fucking
cable
car
restrainer
got
units.
lowered. Like it was
Phase
like a
2 involved
lowrider.
strengthening the support
It was a
columns.
fucking Honda
However,
Civic,
this
bro.
was simply never
3
carried out on this
fucking
viaduct
fat
and other
Uber
freeways.
passengers.
Instead, the state used its budget to construct new freeways and improve the appearance
Like the
of existing
car
ones.
was like the
According to new scientists, the
suspension
average
was.
expenditure per year
Oh
on
my
retrofitting
god, dude, that was
$3
the
million,
worst.
a tiny fraction of the $3 billion spent on the state's highways.
I don't know why people
By
like
October
fat girls.
1989, the decision proved deadly. with the Cypress Freeway
Sounds like
viaduct
a good time. It
collapse.
wasn't a
The
good time
top
for my
deck
car,
crashed
man.
onto the bottom tier, causing some cars to be crushed down to 12 inches. Drivers on the
Bro, they
top
don't let
plummeted,
sexual
and
offenders
some
do it.
even
Come on,
flew
man.
off the bridge
Relax.
entirely. When Leo Johnston recalled her experience flying from
Do
the
you
top
ever
deck,
got
she told local news outlet SF Gate, quote, "From the corner of my
Bro's
eye, I saw the
fantasy?
guardrail snap. That's when I knew this was an earthquake." Also on the freeway that day were her co-workers, Lori Marsh and Leonora
Dude, why are
Moy,
you guys
who
so
were
mean,
traveling in
man? It's
Marsh's
like you
car.
fucking
Their
never seen a guy.
experience was equally as surreal.
You guys are
The
fucking
ground was
mean,
shaking,
man.
so Marsh initially
Holy
thought
shit.
that
At
she'd
least
have flat
at
tires
least
and that
like
her
my
husband
channel,
would be
man.
really annoyed with
Give
her.
me a big
She
like or
soon
send me a
complained that
donation.
both tires were flat until Moy realized
Oh,
what
you
was
were the
actually
Uber
happening.
driver.
The woman recalled,
Probably
quote,
why
"We
as
fell
long as
about
it is.
25 feet and
Did
landed
they go
upright. We
missing?
jumped
There's
out
no
of the
way
car,
those
and
fat
there were
girls ever
people
will go
everywhere,
missing, dude.
moaning and groaning."
You can
Moy
spot
and
them from
Marsh began
space.
helping motorists and soon spotted their colleague, Leo Johnston, in the distance. They had to pull
They
her out
would,
of the car. They
they would
noticed she was
never,
shoeless,
they
so they
would
went
never
back
go
in and
missing.
rescued her now highly symbolic red heels. One blessing in disguise was a baseball game happening that
Fuck
day.
you, channel, bird.
Oakland
Fuck
was
you,
playing San
Megatron.
Francisco in the World Series, so
I'm
many
just
people were
answering
indoors
questions.
watching the first ever Bay Bridge World Series. The usual
Damn,
rush
you guys
hour
gotta
level of traffic
relax, man.
was
You
not
guys are
there,
on like some
and
other
as a
shit.
result, people who went home early to watch the game unintentionally missed the disaster. The game was played at Candlestick Park, a stadium that could hold over 40,000 people. 4 minutes into
Alright,
the
I'm not
game,
gonna
the
talk. Alright,
ground
I'll
started
shut up.
shaking.
You guys talk.
Thankfully, they were
I'm not gonna say
unaffected,
anything.
but the supporting screens turned black and then reappeared with news footage of what was happening. This was long before
I'm just not
smartphones,
gonna
so
talk because
information was
that guy,
gradually traveling to the
Kyrie
spectators
T
on what
keeps
was
telling me
going
to shut
on.
up.
Dennis Eckersley, who was playing for the Oakland Athletics on that day,
Bro,
told
you're just
NBC, quote, "I
jaw,
was in the bathroom
bro.
combing my hair
You
because
just
it's
have jaw
almost
surgery.
convention time. The
Oh,
bathroom is
what
pretty
else
close
is
to
that
the
to
exit, as
stream
it turns
about?
out. I was combing my hair, and it sounded like a train was coming through the
How
door.
fat are we talking
It
about?
was
Like, I'm talking about
unbelievable.
over
The
300.
screech of all the iron in the stadium. I knew what was happening. Auxiliary lights came on, and I said, 'Earthquake,' and I was out the door. I'm from the Bay Area, so I know what
Looks like
earthquakes
your
are,
face
but
got
this
beat.
was ridiculous. It was
You
by
guys are
far
so
the
fucked.
worst
Dude,
earthquake to
after
hit the
this
Bay Area
live
since
stream, I'm gonna go
1908,
cry.
which reached 7.9
I'm
on the
literally
Richter
gonna
scale.
go in the shower
This
and
time
cry, dude.
around, the epicenter was in the Santa
Actually,
Cruz
fuck the shower. I
Mountains,
don't want to take
on
a
a
shower.
hilltop named Loma Prieta.
I'll just
The
cry
Loma
in the
Prieta
bathroom.
earthquake reached a devastating
Should I
7.1 on the
stream it,
Richter
guys? Do you
scale.
guys want to watch
The
me
city of
cry at
Oakland
the
was
end?
both literally and
Bro, look
metaphorically
like
shaken.
Squidward.
There were billions of dollars worth of damage, but more importantly, 64 people lost their lives. Across the city, the earthquake collapsed homes, started fires, and a small section of the Bay Area Bridge even collapsed. 2/3 of these victims were killed on the Cypress Street Viaduct, a freeway where preventative measures were
Cry now,
ignored.
don't wait.
Like Leo Johnston, 3,900 people suffered lifelong injuries. If we're going to draw
Yeah,
any
you guys want to
positives from
see
this
it?
tragedy, it's the immediate response from the people of Oakland. Emergency workers risked their
We pray
lives and
for you.
braved the scene, working tirelessly to rescue people from the rubble. Thankfully, there were no aftershocks, and soon even ordinary citizens were helping people climb down from the ruins.
Alright, guys, fuck this, man. I'm leaving.
Countless acts of bravery
If
were
you don't
carried out,
subscribe to
some
me, I will
including
never
Moy
go
and
live
Marsh
again.
pulling their bloodied colleague from her car.
I'm
And
leaving.
a stranger helping, Kenneth
Goodbye.
Lee, climb down from the lower deck, followed by a nearby taxi.